Hello to all Star Wars fans. Unfortunately, I have not the best news for you, if not to say that they are completely bad. It is about the long-suffering remake of the legendary game Knights of the Old Republic, which is KOTOR. It seems that the game is dead and most likely will never come out. This was reported by authoritative insider Jeff Grubb during the Giant Bomb podcast. According to him, none of the studios that were involved into the remake are currently developing it. Neither Aspire nor Saber Interactive nor any other. Grubb said that for those who follow the news, this should not come as a surprise, since in September 2023, Sony archived the remake's trailer from its YouTube channel and deleted some messages about the game from Twitter. Although later, the company justified it by saying that they had to remove the trailer since the music license was expired. In mid-November, the head of the Embracer Group, Lars Winsford, was asked to comment on the state of the remake. The manager refused to do this. He stated, "Everything I say on this topic becomes the headline of the news, so I will limit myself to this comment only." And the most importantly, throughout the time that has passed since the announcement of the remake in 2021, we have not received any good news. At first, the game was supposed to be released as early as the end of 2023. Aspire Media, a young studio known for its work on the reissues of Star Wars Jedi Academy and Star Wars Republic Commando, as well as KOTOR ports to mobile platforms, took up the development. As much as $70 million was allocated for the remake of KOTOR, but at the very first presentation for investors, it became clear that the game was in the shittiest state, and Aspire was suspended from development, after which the project passed into the hands of Saber Interactive. And that's it. After that happened, the news were popping up from time to time about problems inside the studio and the freezing of the development, and finally about a complete shutdown. Therefore, we can safely document the death of the project, and it is very sad, like a knife to the heart. And you can say, wait, there is no official comments, it's too early to say anything. But do you know what is important to understand? Yes, such large companies never announce to the whole world about the cancellation of a project. Both Lucasfilm and Sony will pour water into our ears until the end and talk about some funny things like the expiration of the license for music, so long as there is no resonance that will definitely bring down the shares of companies. No one will ever tell you about the cancellation of the game. Think of other cancelled Star Wars projects, the Rogue Squadron movie and the New Republic Rangers TV series. No one from the official sources has said about the cancellation of projects so far. No one. Big companies like Lucasfilm and Sony will prefer to ignore questions about the remake of KOTOR, and in a few years everyone will simply forget about it, and hence the companies will not lose the value of their shares. That's how we do it. Therefore, do not wait for official comments, no one will give them to you. Oh, how sad it is to hear all this. I'm sure that for many of you, Knights of the Old Republic is the most favorite Star Wars game, a childhood game. What can I say? It still remains as a template for the best RPG that is able to compete with many modern games. The plot, atmosphere, music, gameplay, all this catches you more rather than the coolest graphics and miles-long open world. KOTOR is not just some kind of Star Wars game, it is a real work of art, which in its time gave birth to a separate branch of the development of the universe, showing us that Star Wars can be very dark and complex in its own way, thereby demonstrating the direct opposite of the movie saga. And for a while, we all got a tiny hope that Lucasfilm would be able to multiply all these qualities and, most importantly, finally canonize the era of the Old Republic, giving it a chance for further development. Alas, apparently all this is destined to remain in distant dreams. Is it good or bad? Yes, it's bad of course. I console myself only with the fact that the remake could spoil the original rather than complement it. Probably let Knights of the Old Republic remain the unsurpassed classics of our century. Write your opinion in the comments, although I think I already know it, but write it anyway. Subscribe to the channel, like it if the video was useful for you, and continue to follow the news on Star Wars with us. Thank you all very much for watching. See you soon.